Hello everyone, welcome to JavaScript tutorial for beginner. In this tutorial we are going to talk about how to create object and constructor in JavaScript. So first of all, let's say we have a student data and a student may have his name, age and his CGPA. Now there can be thousands of students in a school or in any university or college. So are you going to declare variable for every student? The answer is no, obviously. So for that case, in order to make our work easier, we can use object. So before that, let me just write over here some variable. Let's say var name equal to John, and let's say here var age equal to, let's say, 27, and let's say var CGPA equal to 4.75, or var, not car, so var CGPA. So right now if you want to print this, you need to say over here console.log, then to first bracket, and here let's say name. And if you also want to print the age and CGPA, we also need to do the same thing. Let me just copy this, then paste it here and here. So here I am going to say age, and here we'll say CGPA. So right now let's save this, and right now let's go to our browser. Okay, let's go to our project folder over here and let's open our project. So right now I'll just right click over here, then go to inspect option, and over here you can see console. Let me just zoom in over here. Here you can see console. If I just click console, here you can see John 27 and 4.75 CGPA. Now we might have like hundreds of students, so it's not possible to declare variable for every student. So for it we need to use object. So how do we write object? So in order to write object, again we need to say over here var, then we'll say over here student on equal to, we'll give two second bracket, and inside this we're going to mention the name, age and CGPA. So let's say over here name, and we need to give clone over here instead of equal sign, and here we're going to say John. Let's say John, and then we'll give a comma over here. After name we'll have age, so here we'll say age, let's say 25, then comma, not semicolon, and let's say here CGPA clone, let's say 4.25, and for the last one we do not require to give any comma. So this is how you can declare a object. Here you can see that first of all we just declare a variable var student on equal to, we give a second bracket over here, and inside this we mention name, age and CGPA. Now how do we print this? So in order to print it, we need to say over here console.log, then to first bracket, and here you can see we write over here student on. So this is an object, so we say over here student on dot name. It means we want to get the name of student on. So right now if we save this, let me just remove this console.log from here and them as well. So right now if we save this, and then if we refresh our browser, we can see over here John. If you want to print age or CGPA, we can do that as well. We can see over here student on dot age, then say over here student on dot CGPA. So save it, then refresh here. Here you can see John, age and CGPA. So if you have multiple students, then what you can do is that, let me just copy this, then paste it over here. So here instead of student on we'll say student 2, but we do not have to change anything over here. Name, age, CGPA will still be the same. We'll just change the name value over here. Let's say name value will be Yamin, age will be 26 and CGPA will be 6.3. So right now if you want to print this, all you have to do is that, let me just copy this, then print, we'll just say over here student 2 instead of student on. Then we'll also be able to print this student variable as well. So right now if we save this, then if we refresh here we can see we are able to print both of them. So using object make our work more easier, but we can make this more easier using constructor. So how do we write constructor? In order to write constructor, we need to say over here function, and normally constructors start with capital S. So we say over here student. It will start with capital S, then we'll give to first bracket, and then we'll give to second bracket. So right now inside this first bracket we'll say over here name, comma age, comma CGPA, and then inside this function we'll say this dot name equal to name. Then let me just copy this and I'll paste it 2 times. So here it will be this dot age equal to age, and this dot CGPA equal to CGPA. So this is called constructor, and here what will happen is that we will send name, age and CGPA, and then what it will do is that it will store that specific name in this dot name object. Then the same thing will happen for age and CGPA. Let me just show you. So here right now we do not require this var student on those things over here. So here we are just going to say var student 1 equal to, here we are going to say new, and here you can see student. This constructor or this function, we are going to mention this function student over here. Then we'll give to first bracket, and here we are going to mention the name over here. Let's say it will be Michael, then age will be for Michael 34, and CGPA will be 3.35. So over here we give the name, age and CGPA over here. So what will happen is that it will call the function student, and it will give the name over here Michael, age and CGPA, and those name, age and CGPA will be stored over here in this dot name object. Okay, now let's give a few more student data over here. Let's say student 2 over here, and then we'll say over here student 3. So let's say over here name will be Shakil, and here the name will be Smith, age 26, and CGPA let's say 4.35, and for Smith age will be let's say 56, and CGPA will be 3.78. Okay, so right now how do we display them? The process is similar. In order to display let's say student on data, in order to display student on data, all we have to do is that we need to say over here, just like before, console.log student on dot name. So it will print the student on name, then age and then CGPA. So right now if we save it, we will see Michael, age 34 and CGPA 3.35. So right now if we just refresh here you can see Michael 34 and 3.35. So right now if we just again console.log for let's say student 3, here you can see Smith. So here we say student 3. So we should be able to see Michael and Smith in the browser. So right now if we refresh here you can see Michael 34, age 3.35 CGPA, and here you can see Smith 56 and 3.78. So right now there is more easier way to print things using constructor, and that is we can use another display object in this constructor. So right now let me just remove one of them. So right now here we are going to say, we'll just say over here this dot display equal to function, then to first bracket, and here we are going to give to second bracket. So right now what we are going to do is that we are going to just copy them from here, and we will paste it inside this display functions. Here instead of student on dot name, we are going to say this dot name, then this dot s and this dot CGPA. So we'll say over here this dot name, age and CGPA. So here first of all what will happen is that here we are calling the constructor student function over here, and we are sending the name, age and CGPA in this function, and then this function will store that specific name, age and CGPA in this variable or in this object. Then if we call that specific object for this display function, then we'll call that specific name, age and CGPA. Let me just show you how do you call this display function. So for it, here you can see we have student on data. So here we are going to say student on dot display. So it means we are calling or we are sending this data over here and we want to display that data, and we already mentioned over here console.log, so it will show that name, age and CGPA. So right now if you save it, we should be able to see Michael in the browser. Refresh, here you can see Michael. If you want to, let's say, print the second student data, all we have to do is that we need to say over here student2 dot display. So we'll be able to see Shakil 26 and 4.35. So let's just go to our browser, let's refresh. Here you can see Shakil 26 and 4.35. So those are the basics of object and constructor in JavaScript. I hope this tutorial was useful to you. If you have any question, you can always let me know in the comment section, and I will really appreciate if you subscribe this channel. Thanks again for watching. I will see you in the next tutorial.